Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today's going to be tip 183, and I'm calling it Let Your Voice Be Heard. And of course, everything comes to me for different reasons, for things that happen in my life. And I guess this is something that's been on my mind for a couple of days now. I had something happen day before yesterday. I think it was day before yesterday. Yeah, today's Wednesday, so day before yesterday. That kind of set me back a little bit because I was surprised. And what it kind of reminded me of is that as women, we don't always make sure that we're heard. And I realized something happened the other day, and it was, I wish I'd handled it a little differently, but in the future, I'll just continue to get stronger about it. But I was doing some research on something, and I was talking to a male about process acro, a process that I'm getting involved in. And this person, all of a sudden, more or less wanted to hang up with me and go address something about me with another person. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I was so shocked by it. I hung up the phone and I thought, I wonder if I'm going to go forward with this. This isn't okay. So I found this article this morning, and it said, keep your heels, head, and standards high. And really what I realized when I started thinking about what happened is that the only reason I knew in the back of my mind that this person had no opportunity to speak on my behalf. They had no connection to me to be able to do it. But what I realized is that I need to be quicker on my feet. And when something like that happens, I need to make sure and say, you stay in your lane. These are the things that I will handle. You have no say in it. And as soon as I hung up and I went to the next party involved, the first thing I said is, you realize you can't take instructions from this other person. Everything comes from me. These are my decisions. And it was like, oh no, that was the first thing I wanted to address with you. But it made me step back and kind of realize and think about that. There are still some people, and they may have the best of intentions in mind, but they are not in a position to make decisions for us. And I started even thinking about employment, and I found an article where Harvard did a lot of research on this. And basically what they're saying is from studies that were done in 2019, because we know 2020 was COVID and 2021's been COVID. But in 2019, they said that women hold 60% of the advanced degrees, and they are 50% of the workforce. And they make substantially less than men. And what they were kind of saying is that women have been socialized to avoid being assertive or to be strong. Good morning, Rachel. And I know that's true because I know I tend to prefer to be likable. I don't want to be known as being unlikable or pushy, but there's always going to be a time where we have to be that person. And like I said, I knew that this person couldn't speak on my behalf. I knew they were totally stepping outside of their line. But what I wish is that I need to get stronger in saying, hey, you need to back off. Because historically what I would have done is address the issue, not moved forward, closed everything off and been done. But what I realized is I need to stand up stronger. And it made me think about something that even happened in my job. I was in a meeting with someone, and it was just one-on-one in the meeting, and they said, I need to tell you something. And I said, what's that? And they said, your manager was in a meeting with all the other managers, and they were asking about you because I was fairly new with the company. And she said, you got a high compliment. And I'm like, what do you mean I got a high compliment? That's nice. What it was said. She said, well, the manager said that everything you claimed you could do on your resume was true, that there's not one thing that you couldn't do. And I thought, and why is that a surprise? Isn't that what a resume is? Is it's a listing of what you've done or what you have done in the past? And then I started reading more of these articles, and it said that, men will actually, men overestimate their skills by 30%, and women are like, they have to 100% have the skill or they won't acknowledge it. And I've kind of looked back at, hello, Miss Rachel. I kind of looked back at my position and who held it before me, and it was men. And I thought, okay, now that's kind of making more understanding. And it did make me realize that I tend to be perfect or exact, or I discount my skills a little bit, or my degrees, or my designations and that kind of stuff. And it made me realize I need to be stronger. I knew I could address the issue, and I knew this person had no ability at all. But what I got mad at myself about is that I didn't say, step back. This isn't yours. Step back. And I guess I just wanted to throw this out here just as a reminder to everyone. We can't beat ourselves up if something like that happens. Just be careful that nobody has the ability to take control for you. And I knew this person had no ability to make any decisions for me, but it did kind of set me back because I'm like, it wasn't even like a discussion. It was like, let me hang up. I want to do something. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, wait. What are you talking about? We have decided nothing. We have like moved forward on nothing. What are you going to talk about? Wait. And it was more or less the person had hung up and started to call the other party involved, who ended up calling me, and I ironed it out after that. But it just made me step back and go, we as women have to stand up and realize it's okay to say no, and it's okay to say stop, and it's okay to say, put your butt back in your lane. This isn't your decision, this is mine. And it made me also realize too, to recognize that I don't always recognize my skills for what they may be and what everyone else sees them to be. So I'll just kind of go through this again. This was an article where they did research through Harvard, and many of us may be on our own, or we may be taking the lead in our families, and we have to remember that there are going to be differences based on how we're groomed. There are going to be differences based on whether, like even for those of us who have struggled with weight, we don't have the same self-confidence. We don't have the same assertiveness because we've always been ashamed of ourselves, so to speak. So we need to stand up for ourselves and be strong, not be afraid to say, step back. This isn't your lane. This is my lane. And be our own best advocate. And reading this article kind of helped me to understand why I wasn't able to stand when I needed to. I knew I had control. I knew I had total control, but I was mad at myself for not exerting it quicker. But more or less, just remember that it says men overestimate by 30% and women have to be 100% on, or they don't own it. I think as being overweight people, we're not self-confident. Oh, Rachel, I kicked myself. I was so mad at myself because I'm like, why didn't I stand strong really fast? I knew I could handle the issue because this person had absolutely zero connection, but I didn't do it. And that's where I wanted to kind of make myself stronger, so that I think I can be likable, and I think I can still be strong in my opinions, because you will respect someone who's strong. But it made me understand it when it said that in general, women have to own a skill 100% and men overestimate by 30%. And that's just grooming. That's just how we're all brought up. And that can't be said 100% for men either. It's just how you've come through or what you've learned over the course of your life. And all we can do is make sure that we recognize our strengths and weaknesses so that we are able to handle all the situations. So my lesson is, there are going to be times where even if I'm shocked, I have to say, stop, get back in your lane. I'll let you know if I need you to step in. Yeah, and it is hard. It is really hard, but that is something I'm going to work on, because you know what? I want to be likable, but I also know that when it comes to something personal to me, I do need to be strong. And I'm going to really kind of just maybe even a smiling, laughing way. Hopefully the next time something like this comes up, I'll go, that's not your lane. You need to step back over into your lane. Thank you for your advice. I appreciate it, and I will take it into consideration as I move forward. But I was just shocked because this person more or less hung up on me to go address something about me with someone else, and we had made no decisions, and it made me realize that's an area I have to work on. And as a weight loss patient, we lack self-confidence. I've worked on that a lot this year, and I'm a lot stronger in it. But we lack self-confidence, and as women, we also lack self-confidence because, like they're saying, men overestimate 30%, women, it's got to be 100% on. So we have to know that it's okay to stand strong. It's okay to point out when somebody's crossed over into your lane, that we do not have to apologize for saying, yeah, I appreciate your advice, but this is my decision. We can be assertive in a nice way, and it's okay to ask for feedback. It's okay to kind of move forward. But I think that especially being overweight, self-confidence is an issue, and learning to negotiate. That's probably a weakness for most women, or at least for me. So I have to be better at negotiating. I need to be a better bargainer. And I think maybe that's what I'm kicking myself for, is that I wasn't able to go, oh, stop. And it's a lesson. It's a lesson learned. There's no harm, no foul, because I knew that this person had no ability to make any decisions for me, but that I wasn't able to do it fast enough made me realize that's a skill I need to work on. And I thought, if it's a skill I need to work on, it might be something just to point out to everyone else. And understanding that men are groomed differently than women can also help us to recognize when we might say, hey, I appreciate your advice. I appreciate you wanting to step in, but this is something I have to take care of. Let me consider what you're thinking, what you're talking about. That conversation just spun out from underneath me before I could do anything. And I thought, I know I'm not isolated in this. I am pretty strong. I guess not as strong as I thought I was, but this journey, I want to move into so many different things, and I've been learning so much. Like I know I talked about being with Chris Noggle this weekend, and a lot that I learned with them, and I've been moving forward in some of that kind of stuff. And I am grateful for the opportunity to recognize the areas where I can improve, and just want to share with other people, because I don't think I'm isolated in this. I may struggle with it more than other people, but a gentle reminder that women and men do see things differently, and recognizing, even sometimes being able to say stop fast enough so that we can adjust. Because it really made me think about when that person at work said, your manager told everybody in the meeting that every skill that you claimed on your resume you had. And I thought, what a weird thing to say, because isn't that how everybody fills out a resume? And it made me realize that I look at things from the way that I was groomed in life, and we weren't all groomed the same way. And I do see where somebody would say that, they've learned a skill, or they've got it at 30, 40, 50%, and they may not claim they own it, as to where I've always been the one that underestimated instead of overestimating. But for me, it was a great learning tool, because I want to reach out and be more active in things and reach beyond what has been comfortable for me, which is all about what Doc V has been teaching us, and regain my voice where I lost it because I was so big. I mistakenly thought no one saw me, but now it's time to regain my voice, regain and share the knowledge that I've gained over all these years, so that I can make my life better, and hopefully in the process make the lives better of everybody around me. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and there's no harm or no anger. It's just a learning lesson for me, because I'm still moving forward with certain things, but it was a lesson for me to know when I need to stand up a little bit faster. And I was just hoping to share that with other people, because as we all think differently, and as we all regain our self-confidence, if we've lost it through this journey, there's little things that we're going to want to think about and grab a hold of, so that we don't end up sitting on a street somewhere with everybody else gone, wondering what the next step is, because it just spun out of control around us and we didn't even see it. So I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me share this with you. I was just shocked, because it caught me totally by surprise, because I thought, I'm a strong person and I speak up when I need to, and all of a sudden this conversation spun right out from underneath me, and I stood back and went, I know I still have control of this, but how in the heck did that just happen? So I just wanted to share and just give a few pointers from what that Harvard article was saying, that it's just still a struggle we all know we have. And it's not just male, female. It can be all different kinds of things that create you to feel that you have shortcomings that maybe don't let you stand up for yourself fast enough. And the first step is just identifying it, so that you can step up, step in, and educate or grow when you need to. Thank you, Rachel, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.